All right, guys, so for today's lesson, it's actually kind of a fun one. And what it's doing is it's starting to teach us how readers work to remember what they've read. So in third grade, we not only work on how to read and what to read in good fit books, but we also work on remembering what we've read. So we also need to do the work of writing about reading. So today is going to be our very first look at how to write about reading, and we're actually going to use our Read Aloud book to learn how to do this. And we're all going to work on this together as a class, as a group, and then you will get to try and do it yourself with your own books that you're reading at home. So what we called
So we have to write.
So what you are seeing on your screen right now is actually in my own reading spiral. I just took a picture of it so you guys could see what the questions will look like. I'm going to stop the screen share in just a minute, and then we're going to answer things as a class. But when you stop and jot, it's to help you remember what you've read. So you good readers ask themselves these questions. Where is the character right now? Where is the character right now? What is the character doing? So these stop and jots are having us look at our characters, our setting, and the action taking place in our story. Because as third graders, we are starting to read longer and more complicated books. And sometimes when we make that transition, it gets a little tricky to remember those things. So a stop and jot is a great way of just keeping track of what you are reading. Remember that fold down that we did yesterday and we wrote Reading Life on it? Our stop and jot is going to be on that next page after our marker, in case you're wondering where it's supposed to go. Again, you don't need to do this right now. But let's take a look at our stop and jot. And we're going to use Where the Mountain Meets the Moon to answer these questions. So our first question is, who is the character? So what you are going to do in your reading spiral, we're going to go to the page that we folded down yesterday as our marker, and we're going to turn that marker over, and we're going to use the page after that to write stop and jot. You are going to write in pencil. I wrote in color so you guys could see it because I noticed yesterday it was really hard to write down or for you guys to see the pencil. You also need to go to your reading spirals and fill out your reading log for today. So you have two things. Your reading log, you read from 120 to 140. And then you're going to do your stop and jot on the page after the fold down. In case you forgot what the questions were, never fear. I will share my screen and I have the questions on the blank paper and our example that we did with our read aloud. You are going to see in Seesaw a real quick activity for your stop and jot. And all you have to do today is take a picture of your completed stop and jot. That's it for that activity. Nothing fancy. Go in, take a picture, send it to me.